Is Grizzly a weirdo? Well, possibly. However, when the midsummer heat kicks in, he needs to find ways to cope with the stress when cool water is not readily available for him. Like most dogs, he cannot wait to immerse himself into the nearest refreshingly cool body of water because there comes a point when panting just isn't getting the job done. Panting is merely what you do until you reach the shoreline. Canines have various ways on how they keep cool, sometimes bizarre and even a bit silly. Grizzly is simple. If there's a water source, I'm dipping my feet and I'm taking a drink. Grizzly tries to be patient and considerate of others. I'd say he has a degree of good old-fashioned chivalry, especially with the females. And of course, he's considerate of children. This weekend will be one of those where you're going to want to hang by the water because the summer heat makes a return. A return with vengeance, I'd say. However, Saturday doesn't look too bad for the Omaha metro area. It will be warm, humid, and breezy for our Saturday. Might be somewhat overcast during the morning hours, but gradual clearing as we head into the early afternoon. However, an isolated storm or two is possible in the vicinity as a warm front pushes through. However, I think most of us are going to remain dry. It should be very low chance, low coverage. Highs will be reaching the lower 80s by the late afternoon, and southeast winds will be progressively picking up at around 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusting over 25, bringing in that heat and humidity. So we're going to give a dog walk score of 4 out of 5, especially during the morning and midday hours where temperatures aren't too bad and the winds aren't too strong. But overall, Saturday is still a pretty decent day, but yet warm enough to where you're going to want to head into the pool and have full chaos in the water. However, it's a different story on Sunday. The heat wave arrives with highs soaring into the middle and even upper 90s, and when you factor in the high humidity values that we'll be seeing, that will make it feel like 105 and possibly a little bit hotter. So when heat indices are soaring up to about 105 or more, that is likely heat advisory territory. Heat advisories have not been issued officially yet, but it's highly likely that the National Weather Service will issue a heat advisory for at least Sunday and possibly even early into next week. Might see a few clouds in the morning providing some shade, but otherwise it's going to be rather sunny throughout much of the afternoon and evening hours. So you might actually want to limit your time outside. Definitely going to want to stay hydrated and stay in the shade, even though the humidity doesn't make it feel that much cooler. So just limit your time outside and try to stay by a nearby water source at least. Will still be a little bit breezy with those south winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusting to 25. However, that's not going to relieve the heat very much. So not the best day for playing outside with your dog and taking them for a walk. So I'm only giving it a 2 out of 5 dog walk score. And the best time to walk your dog is pretty much as early as possible. Around sunrise or not too much later. So we're going with a slow walk for Grizzly's energy level. Since a heat wave will be impacting our area for several days starting Sunday, it's good to review the safety tips for your dog. Remember, the heat impacts them just as much, if not more, than us humans. The pavement often warms up considerably faster and is dangerous for your dog's paws. Just look at these temperature values on concrete and asphalt when the air temperature is only in the middle 80s to middle 90s. A good rule to go by is the 7-second rule, which is hold your hand on the surface for 7 seconds. If it's too hot for your hand, it's too hot for your hound. Some tips to remember when walking on hot days. Stay off pavement as much as possible and try to stay on the grass where it's cooler. Use paw protection if you have some, such as booties, paw wax, or paw balm. Always bring water in a small dish or bowl with you when you go on a walk. Walk during the coolest hours of the day, and like always, check their paws daily for signs of damage. If your dog does have some heat exhaustion, move the dog to a cool and shady place. Pour some cool water but not cold water on them. Offer them some water to drink, obviously, and fan them vigorously to promote evaporation after you pour that cool water on them. And do not apply ice since it actually constricts blood flow. Don't let the summer heat scare you from enjoying the outdoors with your dog. Just keep these safety tips in mind, and like always, keep cool, stay hydrated, and try to enjoy the water.